our last difference quotient was with a polynomial function. This function is a rational expression function because it's got a rational expression in it. But we're still going to start it the same way. So we're going to find f of a plus h. Let me just write this up real quick. F of a plus h minus f of a over h. That's what we're going to be doing. Where do I want to start this? Okay, so we'll go ahead and put it right here. So 3 plus a plus h over 2 minus a plus h. So that would be f of a plus h. And then we're going to subtract f of a. So 3 plus a over 2 minus a. So that's the numerator. And remember, this is all over h. And so you might say, well, that's kind of messy. It is. What we want to be able to do is that h in the denominator, in the past when we've done these, you may have noticed that h usually would cancel out. And that's what we want to have happen, because later on when we go to do the limits, we're going to replace that h with 0. And if you have a factor of h in the denominator, that's going to zero everything out, and that's going to be a problem. So we want that h to cancel. So it's a matter of finding the techniques to do that. Now, even though this is a little messy, you might say, oh, okay, well, you know, I can get a common denominator. And that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to multiply the numerator by the LCD. And in this case, the LCD, I'm going to write it as 2 minus a minus h. I'm going to distribute that minus sign times 2 minus a. And I'm going to multiply it in both the numerator and in the denominator. Okay, so let's see what happens when we do that. In the numerator, I'm going to have, let's see, how can I write this? I'm going to have this part is going to cancel out, right, in the LCD. So I'm going to have 3 plus a plus h times 2 minus a. And then I'm going to be subtracting, and then over here, this part's going to cancel out, so I'm going to have the 3 plus a times 2 minus a minus h. And so that's going to be some work. And then in the denominator, well, I'm not going to multiply stuff out. I'm going to have h 2 minus a minus h times 2 minus a. And I'm just going to leave it that way. All right. In the numerator, so I'm going to leave the denominator alone for now. In the numerator, because it's all factored for me. In the numerator, though, I've got to multiply stuff out and then try to combine like terms. So you've got a trinomial times a binomial, the first part, and a binomial times a trinomial on the second part. But I'm just going to go ahead and multiply these out. So I get 6 minus 3a plus 2a minus a squared plus 2h minus ah. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying this in, then I'm multiplying this in, then I'm multiplying this in. And I'm going to just keep doing that this way. Now, I do have a minus sign here, so I'm just going to change all the signs as I go along. So I've got the 3 times 2, so it's going to be minus 6. Then I'm going to have plus 3a, because I've got a minus 3a, but then I'm subtracting, so it's a plus 3a. And then I've got a minus 3h, but it's going to be plus 3h. And then I'll do the a. So it's going to be minus 2a plus a squared plus ah. And that is long. All over. And you know what they do sometimes? Sometimes they just write denominator like D-E-N. I'm not going to do that, but just so that you know, sometimes I'll do that because it gets to be a lot of writing sometimes. Okay, so some things should happen in the numerator. The 6's are canceling. The 3a and the 3a are out. The 2a and the negative 2a are out. The negative a squared and the positive a squared are out. And the negative ah and the positive ah are out. So what do we have left? Well, you've got 2h and 3h, which is 5h. And then, what we get to do is we get to cancel the h. So that h is out. And I'm not going to go any farther into the limits. We're going to talk about limits later on, but I just wanted to go through the algebra on this so that you would be more familiar with that technique. So I'm just going to leave it in this form and be good with it. Okay.